I mean, everyone's talking about a hat-trick against Brentford, but it's been coming. It's been absolutely coming. His form, since Kevin De Bruyne has been out injured, he's been stepping in and stepping up in that role. The best you've seen of him?
Definitely the best, and I think he's admitted that himself. You know, in the last 6 games, 4 goals, 4 assists. He looks like he's enjoying his football again. No one wants to see Phil Foden on the left. You know, we want to see him playing football for Manchester City, but we want him in the middle. You know, he can link up play. If you look at his 3rd goal against Brentford, you know, lets it through his legs, 1-2 with Haaland, runs through at pace and slots it, the composure. So Foden's playing his best football, and that's what he's in the team again today. I don't think Pep will be rotating him that much.
I mean, 15 Premier League goals involved so far this season, Jamie. I mean, is it purely due to the fact that his role now is a little bit more central than usual? Should he be considered the main guy now in that central area?
I mean, it's so difficult to be considered the main guy at Manchester City because you've got Kevin De Bruyne, you've got Haaland, who, you know, they're the 2 main guys. I think he's taken responsibility since Kevin De Bruyne has been injured. He's played in more centrally, as you can see, and you know, when Phil Foden was coming, you know, through the ranks as a young lad, he was a number 10. He was a centre midfield player. It's only really when he's then played for Manchester City that he's moved out to the right and plays on the left sometimes, just to fit into Pep Guardiola's team because he's got so many good players. But you know, he's taken responsibility. He's stepped up to the plate. He's amongst the goals. He's driving forward. I think he's shown a maturity to his game. To be playing in the middle of the park for Manchester City is a massive responsibility, and I think he's took that on his shoulders ever since Kevin De Bruyne got injured. You know, he's gone on and been fantastic.
But he's always made it clear. He's always made it clear his best position that he likes and he wants to play is through that central area.
It's the number 10, yeah. He's always wanted to do that, and I think I remember watching him play for England under 17s, under 18s, and he was like a number 10 young player coming through, driving through midfielder. I used to think he was a bit like Paul Gascoigne. You know, that was what I used to think of him when I saw him coming through. But you know, he's got so many good players in this team that sometimes he has to move out to the right, he moves out to the left. Look, Phil Foden can play anywhere. He's that good. You can play him anywhere he wants. He's one of the best players I've ever seen. To be able to wear an England shirt and have him as an English player, you know, he really is a joy to watch.
Well, you have to look at where he's going to have more impact. As a player, if you're on the opposing side and you see him out wide, you're happy. If you see him in an England shirt and you see him out wide, you're happy. You know, he has the ability, with his back to goal, sideways or whatever, to get into those areas and manipulate the football. So for England, I know we were talking about this before. I don't think Gareth Southgate will do that, but I mean, we were talking about that when you're talking about Rice, Bellingham and Foden as a 3 in midfield. I mean,
can it work? Can it work?
100% it can work.
In our dreams it'll work, not with Gareth Southgate.
Well, of course it can work, without a shadow of a doubt. You know, sometimes, like, you have to be, you know, as a manager, you have to look at what you... I've been lucky enough to work with managers who, rather than think about the negativity, think about the positivity. You know, when I was at Leeds United with you know, Gary McAllister, and you're looking at Gary Speed, and you're looking at Cantona, and then you're looking at, you know, the midfield, you've got to look at what you can hurt the opposition with, not worrying about what they're going to... If you're playing against England and you see those 3 in the middle of the park, you're worried.
As well, though, we're not at our best defensively, centre-halves, are we? You know, we haven't got Rio Ferdinand, John Terry's at the back anymore. So, want to go out and outscore teams. You know, you look at Foden and Bellingham as well. If they play together, they can both track back. We've seen Foden for Manchester City now. He can do the hard yards, get back, make tackles.
I mean, the belief in international football is pragmatism should come first. So that's the belief in international football. Is it not too attacking, having all 3 of them on the pitch?
Well, we're not winning anything at the moment with how we're playing, are we?
Guys, I don't know why we're having this conversation, because it's definitely not going to happen. Gareth Southgate is our manager. Foden...
He'll be watching this, Jamie. He might listen to us.
But we have to be careful here as well when we talk about Gareth, because he is the most successful English manager without winning a major trophy. I mean, that cannot be taken away. So we have to be careful when we talk about... I mean, it's easy for us as purists sat back here because we want to win a tournament and we want to see the best players playing. But he has done... But what he's got to do, he has to go further. He has to go further with the quality of players that we have.
100%.
Apart from... So, you know, you've touched on the defensive problems that we've got, which we have at centre-back. We don't have... You know, like you say, a top centre-back, right? So I think, therefore, we have got top forwards, Harry Kane, We've got, you know,
Sooka.
Ivan Toney's coming back and whatever. You've got the boy at Watkins at Villa. We have top forwards. We have top midfield players. So we've got to make that count for us.
I totally agree. We're not even talking about players like Maddison, who's been in great form this season. He's not even getting talked about in them 2 number 8 roles. So I just think we've got to go attacking. You know, look at the best Brazil teams, Jamie. Go out there, outscore the opposition.
I thought we were here to talk about Man City.
okay, let's talk about Man City. Let's talk about Phil Foden, and let's talk about him in particular. I mean, when David Silva first moved on, we all thought, okay, maybe he's going to take that central role as a left footer. Not been the case. You mentioned that he's been played out wide for a long period of time under Pep Guardiola. Should they start considering him as that central role post Kevin De Bruyne? Are they at risk of losing someone like Phil Foden the longer you wait to give him that central role?
Well, I mean,
because can you imagine the team built around someone like Phil Foden?
Yeah, I think he is obviously the future of the football club. They can't afford to let him go, and you know he's probably a player who's worth £200 million. He's that good. I think obviously, Kevin De Bruyne. How long will he carry on at his best for Manchester City? We don't know. You know, he does pick up injuries, but yeah, I mean, Phil Foden for me is the go-to guy. You build a team around him. Moving forward, then you've got a world-class player in your team already, and he's going to only get better and better. And you know, for me, I just love watching him play, the way he does things. The biggest thing I've noticed from him this season is his maturity and his responsibility of taking things on when other players have, you know, been injured. He's been the guy that they've gone to.